Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Rad Dad Builds You. So in this episode, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I transformed basically an old shed into the second part or second addition to my workshop. And if you want to see how I did all this, well, let's rewind a few days and see what it looked like before. So I am currently stood in my new studio workshop. And some of you may or may not notice that there isn't much in here for machinery, for like woodworking, like my jointer and sander and stuff like that. Well, that's because most of that stuff is going in here, which is a nice little 400 square feet workshop just opposite the garage. And the cool thing about this space is it has a bunch of storage up above so I can store all the stuff that I don't need every day. And it's been wired for a workshop, so it has a bunch of 110 and 220 outlets all over the place. And we added some ceiling lights, which will go into the ceiling obviously once we put the ceiling up, but it's gonna be perfect for all my dusty work. And my plan on this side of the workshop is to put all my machinery, like my planer, my jointer, my sander, and stuff like that. Because as I only really use one tool at a time, I can kind of tuck it into the side and pull it out to the middle whenever I want to use it. And over the opposite side here, I want to do some wood storage. So in the corner here, I'm going to do some plywood and sheet goods storage. And then on the wall here, I've got some racks coming to keep my lumber off the ground and out of the way. And it's perfect space for all the dusty work, and I can keep it separate from the garage, which is going to be for like obviously all my assembly and all the nice clean kind of work. So right now in here, it's looking kind of messy. We got cables hanging from the ceiling. There's nothing on the walls and it's pretty cold in here. So first things first, I got to insulate. So insulating is probably one of the easiest and most beneficial things you can do to any home or structure. There's a few simple things you need to know when insulating, and that is to buy the appropriate insulation for the wall that it's going in. For instance, I have a 2x4 inch stud wall at 16 inches on center, so there's a 14.5 inch gap in between. You can get insulation that fits that stud perfectly, and you can get insulation that fits different size studs and different size spacing. So you want to make sure that the insulation you buy matches up with your spacing. You also don't want to put something larger than the gap, so you can buy a 2 feet wide piece of insulation and cram it in here, but it won't be as effective as having a piece perfectly cut. And you also want to make sure that when you're installing the insulation that it's not all pushed in and crumbled in there together, because that also won't be as effective. You want it to fill the void completely with no gaps and fill the thickness as well. So it's nicer to just spend a little bit more time and just get it in there nice and snug and perfect. It looks better and it's the most effective. Anyway, that's enough chit chat about insulation. Let's move on. Okay, so all the walls are insulated. I'm going to do the ceiling as I put the boards up on the ceiling so that it doesn't keep falling down all the time. But it's made a huge difference in here. Not only the temperature, but it sounds way better too. So for the material on the walls, there's a few options I could have gone with, but I'm going to be going with OSB. And that's mainly because plywood is way too expensive right now. And drywall, well, drywall sucks. Well, it doesn't suck. I suck at drywall and I hate doing it. I hate mudding, I hate taping, I hate sanding, I hate waiting for things to dry. And I don't really have that much fun doing drywall. Not only that, as things change and evolve, so will my tools, and that means I might have to upgrade or change the electrics in there. And it's a lot easier to do that by just popping off a panel or a sheet and then just screwing it back on, rather than having to cut the drywall out and then repair it, mud it, tape it, and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot easier just to pop off a sheet. Plus, I feel like it'd take a little bit more of a beating if I like ram a piece of lumber accidentally into it or something like that. It's just gonna be a little bit stronger for this space. And I can paint it whatever color I want to. So that said, let's get boarding. Yoo! Okay, so I got all the walls and the ceiling lined with the 7/8 of an inch thick OSB, and it looks pretty good. I just use regular wood screws to hold it up against the stud and the ceiling there, and it's made a huge difference in there. But it does need some color. And I want to add some sheet good and some lumber storage on this wall here. So like I said, in this far corner, I want to create some kind of lumber storage for all my full sheets of plywood and OSB and stuff like that, as well as my half sheets and my offcuts and all the little pieces of wood that I can't seem to throw out. And usually it's all kind of leaned up against one wall and it's a nightmare to get out and stuff gets damaged, and I kind of want to do better than that. So I'm going to create some kind of rack to kind of have it all combined into one section. Don't really know what I'm going to make yet, so I'm going to kind of make it up as I go along. So let's figure it out. Yep. And this is what I come up with, and it really isn't anything special, and it took me about an hour and a half to build, but it does the job. See, I can get all my full sheets right in this section, I can get all my half sheets in here, and then all my smaller offcuts along in this section, as well as various bins for different size pieces of lumber, which I can't seem to throw out. Okay, so now that we have somewhat of a fully functional workshop in here now, and it's not freezing cold anymore, and it's not super loud, so it's going to start annoying the neighbors, and in my opinion it looks kind of cool, I think now's a good time to start bringing in some of my tools. Okay, so as you can see, everything, or pretty much everything, is moved in there now, and I'm pretty happy with what's here right now because all of my dusty, messy tools are in here right now, and there's still a bunch of room in here, so if I want to upgrade or get more tools or whatever in the future, I have the space to do so. CNC would be nice. And as you can see, the wood storage is doing its thing. All my wood, all my real nice pieces of wood are all combined in there, nice and tidy. Usually it's all kind of tucked in against the wall, and if I want to get something, I gotta peel it all back and whatnot. And I got this lumber rack from Home Depot, which turned up yesterday, and I didn't realize it, but it's actually the exact same colors as what I painted the walls, the gray and the black, which I'm pretty stoked on. And keeps all my wood off the floor and out the way, and it just looks a whole lot nicer in here. And for those of you who are wondering, the Boneyard Wood Co. is my other business where I build custom modern furniture and custom millwork for local clients here on Vancouver Island. But as you guys keep watching my video, which I'm super grateful of, I don't have to do that as much now because I'm making more videos. So I'm truly, truly grateful of all that, and thanks to all the support from everyone. And I'm excited for the future of Rad Dad Builds in my new space. And of those of you who don't know, the Cornish flag represents where I grew up. Yep. And finally, cool thing in here, which I got Rad Granite to install, was the lights are on 3 different runs. So I can adjust each side of the shop accordingly. So I can like black out one side and get some real cool shots of something else. And it's just, yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for this video. This space is a work in progress. So as I add and upgrade things, you guys will see in the videos. But for now, I'm pretty excited to start making some stuff for the house and get some furniture going. So I'll see you in the next video. Yeah. Almost. Yay! Good one, buddy.